Hello Year 2, how are you? And welcome to today's math lesson. So in our last math lesson, we looked at grouping, making equal groups by grouping, didn't we? So we knew how many objects we had, we knew how many needed to be in each group, and we needed to work out how many groups we could make with those objects. But before that, we also looked at making equal groups by sharing, which was when we knew how many objects we had, we knew how many groups we needed, and we needed to work out how many would be in each group. So we've got those two methods. We've got grouping and we've got sharing. And we're going to use both of those methods today to help us divide by 2. But before we do that, let's warm up our brains like we always do with our flashback. So here you go, here's your flashback. So question number 1, calculate 42 plus 20. So if we're adding 20, is the tens digit going to change, or is the ones digit going to change? Then in number 2, how much money altogether? So look at the value of one coin and then write a multiplication number sentence to find out the total value. Then in number 3, you need to decide if you need to use the less than, the more than, or the equals to sign to compare the two multiplication number sentences. And then number 4, you need to find the difference between 100 and 65. Okay, so pause the video now and have a go. Okay, so let's see how you got on. Number 1, calculate 42 plus 20. Now I should hope that you'd be able to do this without column addition, but I'm going to show you column addition to make it really clear which digit changes. So let's start with the ones. 2 plus 0. Well, if we add 0 to a number, the number doesn't change, does it? It will still give us 2. And then let's add the tens. 4 plus 2 equals 6. There you go. So 42 plus 20 equals 62. And can you see that the ones digit hasn't changed? It's gone from 42 to 62. So the ones digit hasn't changed. But the tens digit has changed. It's gone from 42, so 4 tens, to 62, 6 tens. Okay, number 2. How much money altogether? Well, what is the value of one of the coins? Yes, that's right, it's 5 pence. And how many coins are there? Yes, there are 8 coins. So we have 8 coins and they're all worth 5 pence. So we can write the multiplication number sentence 8 multiplied by 5. Now we know our 5 times table, so let's count up together in steps of 5 8 times. Are you ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Stop. We've counted 8 steps, and what did we get to? Yes, we got to 40. So there's 40 pence there. The number 3, use less than, more than, or equals to compare. Wow. The first one, 5 multiplied by 4. Well, we don't know the 4 times table, do we? But we do know the 5 times table. So we can use commutative law to change the 2 parts around to make 4 multiplied by 5. Now, what's 4 multiplied by 5? Let's count up in steps of 5 together quickly. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. Stop. We've got to 20. 4 multiplied by 5 equals 20. Now we have 4 multiplied by 5 here and 5 multiplied by 5 on the other side. So which answer do you think is going to be bigger? Well, yes, it should be 5 multiplied by 5, shouldn't it? Because we have 4 multiplied by 5 and 5 multiplied by 5 is one more lot of 5, isn't it? One more group of 5. But let's just work it out to see if we're correct. So 5 multiplied by 5. Let's count up in steps of 5 times. Are you ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Stop. We've counted 5 steps. And what number did we get to? Yes, we got to 25. So were we correct? Yes, we were, because we need the less than sign. Because 20, 4 multiplied by 5, is less than 25, 5 multiplied by 5. Or 25 is greater than 20. Okay. Then number 4, find the difference between 100 and 65. Well, first of all, let's find the difference between 65 and 70, and that will make it easier for ourselves. So 65 add something equals 70. Do you know the answer? Yes, that's right, it's 5. 65 plus 5 equals 70. Now we need to keep that 5 in our head, okay? Because now we're going to find the difference between 70 and 100. 70 plus something equals 100. Well, we know that 7 plus 3 equals 10. That's one of our number bonds to 10. So therefore, we also know that 70 plus 30 equals 100. So there you go. We have 5 and 30. And just to finish the question off, we need to add those two numbers together. So 30 plus 5 equals 35. Fantastic. So, how did you get on? Well done if you got them correct. Let's move on to today's learning. So here we've got some children. How many children have we got? We've got 8 children, and they're going to play a game. And they've decided they're going to get into 2 equal teams. So they're going to create 2 teams, and they need to have the same amount of children in each team. So let's have a look. Here's our 2 teams. Now, let's see how many children will be in each team. So let's put the first child in the first team, second child in the second team, another child in the first team, another child in the second team, another child in the first team, another child in the second team, and then one more in each team. Now, how many are in each team? There are 4 in the first team, 4 children in the first team, and 4 children in the second team. So we have got 2 equal teams of 4. There'll be 4 children in each team. Now, the children are going to play another game, and this time they need to get into 2s, so they need to get into pairs. So we have 8 children again, and they need to get into groups of 2. So how many pairs will there be? Well, let's find out. Let's see them get into their pairs. There we go. Are all of their groups equal? Have they all got 2 in each group? Yes, they have. And how many groups have they made? How many pairs have they made? Yes, they've made 4 pairs. Look, can you see? So there will be 4 pairs of children. Now, can you remember I used the word sharing earlier? So we've done sharing and grouping. Well, the first question where the children had to get into 2 equal teams, that was sharing, because we knew how many children we had, which was 8. We knew how many teams they needed to get into, but we needed to know how many would be in each team. And we worked out there were 4 children in each team. Now for that, we can write the division number sentence. 8 divided by 2 equals 4, because we had 8 children and they were divided into 2 teams, and there were 4 children in each team. Now the second question, we used grouping instead, because we knew how many children there were and we knew how many needed to be in each team, but we needed to work out how many teams there would be in total. And we found out there would be 4 pairs of children, and we can write the division number sentence. 8 divided by 2 equals 4, because we knew that there were 8 children and we knew that there had to be 2 children in each group, and we found out that that would make 4 groups. Okay, so now instead of children, we've got some flowers. We've got 12 flowers. Now there are 2 different questions here. So in the first question, the flowers are shared equally between 2 pots. So this time they're shared. We know how many flowers there are. We know how many groups they need to be in, or how many pots they need to be in. We need to work out how many flowers will be in each pot. And the second part of the question, the flowers are grouped into pots of 2. So this time it's grouping, because we know how many flowers we've got. We know that there needs to be 2 flowers in each pot, and we need to work out how many pots there will be. So could you pause the video now and see if you can work out using the 2 methods like we used before? First one sharing and the second one grouping. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, year 2, so let's see how you got on. Well, let's start with the sharing. So we need to share these 12 flowers equally between 2 pots. So put 1 flower in that. If we keep sharing them between the 2 pots, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the first, 1 in the second. So there we go. How many flowers did you find would be in each? Well, yes, there'll be 6 flowers in each pot. Can you see? There are 6 in the first and 6 in the second. And we can write that as 12 divided by 2 equals 6, because we have 12 flowers and we have 2 pots, and there are 6 in each pot when we've shared them out. Okay, what about the second part of the question? Well, this time we had 12 flowers, didn't we? And we don't know how many pots there are going to be, but we know that there needs to be 2 flowers in each pot. So let's have a look if you got the right answer. So our first pot, let's put 2 flowers in. Our second pot, another 2 flowers, another pot with another 2 flowers, another pot with another 2 flowers, another pot with another 2 flowers, and oh, we've got 2 flowers left. So how many pots do we need more? Yes, we need 1 more pot. There we go. So how many pots have we made? How many groups? Well, we've made 6 pots of 2. Can you see? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pots. And there are 2 flowers in each. And again, we can write this as a division number sentence 12 because there are 12 flowers divided by 2 because we knew they had to be in groups of 2 equals 6 because there are 6 pots when we've grouped all of the flowers. Fantastic. Well done if you got that right. Now, this time, what if we had 13 flowers? So last time we had 12 flowers, this time we have 13 flowers. And we want the flowers to be shed equally between 2 pots. And then the flowers to be grouped into pots of 2, just like last time. Well, shall we have a look together? Let's look at the first question together. So, here we go. Let's put them into their pots. Now, what do you notice? Yes, I noticed that too. There are 2 pots of 6 flowers, but what's the problem here? Yes, that's right. There's 1 flower that's not in the pot, is there? So we cannot share 13 flowers equally between 2 pots because there's 1 left over. So there are 2 pots of 6 flowers, but then there's 1 flower that's left over that hasn't got a pot. Now, can you work out why that is? Why we could share 12 flowers equally between 2 pots, but we can't share 13 flowers? Well, it's because 12 is an even number, so it will divide equally between 2. But 13 is an odd number, so it won't divide equally between 2. Now, there is 1 flower left over, like we said. Now, let's have a go at grouping. So we need to do like we did last time, group them into pots of 2. So there we go. Oh, now what do you notice again? Yes, that's right. We have our 6 pots of 2 flowers, but like last time, there's 1 flower left over. And why is that? Well, yes, it's because 13 is an odd number. Okay, so last time our 12 flowers were grouped equally into 6 pots, but with 13 flowers, you can't group them equally into pots of 2 because it's an odd number. There'll always be 1 left on its own. So there are 6 pots of 2 flowers, and there is 1 flower left over, that poor little flower all on its own. So now, which groups can be divided by 2 with no flowers left over? So we're going to put them into groups of 2 and see if there's any flowers left over. Now remember what I said about even and odd numbers. So can you pause the video now and have a go and see if you can divide these groups into pots of 2? Okay, pause the video now and have a go. Okay, yeah, 2. So let's have a look together. Well, in the first picture, we have 5 flowers. So do you think we'll be able to divide them by 2? Well, no, we probably won't, will we? Because 5 is an odd number, but let's just check to find out. So there's our first pot of 2, our second pot of 2, and oh, can we make another pot? No, we can't because there's only 1 flower left. So therefore, 5 flowers cannot be divided by 2. There's 1 flower left over. Now, what about the next one? How many flowers have we got? Well, we have 6 flowers. Do you think we'll be able to divide 6 flowers by 2? Yes, I think so too, because 6 is an even number, isn't it? Well, let's find out. There's our first pot. Our second pot. Are we going to be able to make a third pot? Yes, we are, because we have 2 flowers. There we go. So 6 can be divided by 2. Now, what about the last one? How many flowers have we got? We've got 7 flowers this time. Do we think that we'll be able to divide 7 by 2? No, I don't think so either, because 7 is an odd number. So let's try. Are we going to be able to make another pot? No, we're not, because we only have 1 flower and we need 2 flowers in each pot. So therefore, 7 cannot be divided by 2. Well done if you got those right. Now, what I'd like to do now is have a go at questions 1 to 3 on the worksheet. Year 2 Maths, 26th of January, resource 1. Okay, and when you finish, come back to the video.